Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Raven and Rowley. I'm Raven and this is Rowley. We're now living full-time in our 6x12 converted cargo trailer. I'm still working on it while we're living in it full-time. Actually, Rowley watches me work and encourages me to play. For the past 5 years, we've lived full-time in an RV. Class A and then a fifth wheel, and now we're in a cargo trailer. Last week I talked about independence, land and homesteading. This week I'll talk about my solar setup. If you're curious, please join us on this journey and continue to watch. I had been making videos as a reminder for myself, but I thought that you might glean something of value from them, from the way I was thinking, so I've put them here. Or maybe you can help me correct my way of thinking. So you get to see me just working and no glamour. The videos are not horizontal, I'm sorry. But they were just made for me, and then I decided I'd share them with you. I hope you find them useful. Okay, so my thought is, I have two batteries. Both of them are 100 amp hours. One is a Battleborn that runs on an MPPT controller, and the other one is a Mighty Max that runs on a, what is that, PWM? The other kind of controller. I'm thinking that I should hook both batteries together, and I have 100 watt, so I have two 100 watt solar panels. Both of them have different kinds of connectors, and none of them have the standard MP whatever it is connector, MP4s, whatever. I'm not sure the names yet. I'm new to this stuff, you know. So, I was thinking I could hook the two solar panels together to create 200 watts. I could run them in parallel or series, depending upon whatever. I'd probably run them in, I don't know. I haven't decided whether it should be in parallel or series. I think the batteries should be in parallel instead of series. Now, from that, I need to run the refrigerator, but that's not the only thing I need to run. I don't see any real reason to get an inverter because everything I've got, well, almost everything I've got runs on DC, and I could just plug in, you know, USB. Well, I couldn't. With the little controller, where is it? Here it is, this thing. It has USB plugs on the side. So I could charge my computer that way. The other one doesn't have any kind of things on it. This one here, let me get out of the light. This one here, you know, it's just a standard MPPT controller. And you run everything from Bluetooth. So I can't plug anything into that as far as USB or anything. I'd have to get an inverter. So I want to increase my power because my refrigerator over there, this is my, oops, let me see, that's my refrigerator, turns off at night. Either I turn it off or it runs out of juice at night. Now, I don't think that's really good for the battery. And right now it's running on a 100 amp hour sealed lead acid AGM battery. So that's why I think I should have the two together. At least it would make it through the night. And then, of course, my solar panels suck. I mean, when I bought them, I was thinking of space and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know what I was thinking of. Probably thinking of putting them in cars and that kind of stuff. So I've gotten one. Let me take you outside and show them to you. Okay. This one, this is a 100-watt solar panel. Let me get out of the sun. As you can tell, Rowley walks across it. Now, I've got it stuck down by the handles because it's this flimsy, bendable thing. And you see I got it like that because the wind catches it and it flies away. It's already flown away twice. At $100, I don't really want it to fly away a third time. It does have a scratch across it because it flew away, flipped over. But then again, Rowley walks across it, which is not cool. Okay. This one I bought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. And 3 years ago, I think it is. And it's only 60 watts. It's also glass. I don't know if I got this in the last shot, but this one is glass also. And this is a 100-watt panel. Now, all of these have different kinds of connectors. This one, let me see if I can find it. Has the traditional MP4s or M4s or whatever the heck they are. And this is what I need to hook to the battle born, but this is only 60 watts. This one is these little plug and play kind of thing to connect. And the other end goes to the charge controller. This one, I have to get the wire. Where's the wire? Okay. This one has this kind of connector. All three of them are different. And of course, if I leave them on the ground, Rowley walks across it. This one is floppy, it falls in half. It won't stand up by itself. That one catches the wind, it is too lightweight. This one is fine. It doesn't have a brace on the back though to help it stand up. So, I have a Max, Mighty Max, 100 amp hour, SLA AGM battery, and I have a Battleborn lithium battery, 100 amp hours. I need to connect all of these together except this one. This is 60 watt. I think I will just keep separate in order to charge my charge controllers. But these two, I think, need to be hooked up together somehow. And they need to be put on some kind of a brace to stand them up, so that Rowley doesn't walk across them. Your ideas would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so I've done a lot of research. I will have done more research. I'm thinking that I should hook the solar panels together in parallel, and I should hook the batteries together in parallel, and then run the solar panels to the primary battery, which will be the lithium Battleborn battery. I think that'll work. So then I think my next problem is how to get those panels up off the ground and not be blown away by the wind. If they're flat, then I don't have to move them around all day long. If I put them up on an angle on a frame, then I have to constantly move them around to face the sun, which I've done both actually. But I think the flat is the easiest. I was thinking maybe put them on a table, but they're really big. I can only get one on a table because I only have one table. And then, of course, there still is the matter of the wind catching it and blowing it over. So I think maybe my best bet is to just leave it on the ground and wash them off every day after Rowley walks all over them. I just realized that I can't hook these two panels together. I can't hook this one to this one. With this one, I can cut the wires, you know, splice, do all kinds of crap. This one, I can't, because it plugs in on the back of this thing. So, if I want 200 watts, I need to buy another solar panel. The question becomes, if I want 200 watts, should I buy another 100 watt solar panel and then, you know, splice and carry on? Or should I buy two 100 watt solar panels and just hook them together with splicing thingy? Or should I buy a 200 watt solar panel? And keep the other ones just for backup, because I still have the 𝗥𝗃𝗲. I still have all of my little things that need charging. I've got 3 phones. I've got the King solar charger, 𝗥𝗃𝗲 solar charger, my headphones, my, you know, everything, little things. A lot of little things that take a lot of power. And then there's the swamp cooler that also takes power. I don't know that I want or need an inverter because I've got those solar chargers. So, what to do? I mean, it's not like I got a whole hell of a lot of money either. The lithium battery was actually donated to me along with the MPPT controller. That's amazing. And I thank you. But damn, you know, it's what I need. It's exactly what I need. And when I had bought the AGM battery, it was the most money that I could spend at the time. So, I don't know what to do. I have to make a decision soon because my refrigerator keeps defrosting at night. Okay. Of course, there's the other problem. I mean, another solution is to keep both systems separate. I mean, I can keep the AGM battery with its solar panel and its controller, and I can keep the Battle-Born lithium I can keep the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 lithium with its controller. I'd have to get a solar panel for that. Or right now I could just hook up the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and disconnect the AGM and use the solar panel that I have. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So I called 2 local solar companies thinking maybe they had used solar panels. Both are supposed to open at 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Neither one of them answers their phone, wants me to leave a message. Which tells me that I should go out and buy a new solar panel instead of a used one. Okay. This was a half-an-hour job that has turned into about 5 hours. I started at 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning. It is now 11:14. I finally got this battery hooked up in parallel to this battery. And then I've got it hooked up into here. This is the MPT controller. I had a ground wire, and so I've got it mashed up against the metal here because there's no place for me to screw this into. This is the wires from the battery. They had no black wire, no red wire, so whoever had this before labeled this wire with a B. It's on the other side. Maybe you can see it there. And so I think that's supposed to be black and the other one's supposed to be red. Then I put in the cables for the solar panels, but I haven't hooked them up yet. And I ran those wires from the from the solar panels, these two in the middle, from the solar panel through here, through there, and that comes out, and that comes out here. So I haven't hooked it to the panel yet, and this one is the load. This last one is the load. It says load on it. And that goes directly, it's a DC direct current to the refrigerator through here. Now, I haven't connected the solar panels or the refrigerator to this yet because I'm supposed to pair this to my Bluetooth, except that it doesn't accept the pin. So now I'm waiting on whoever had this system before me to get back to me, to get back to the woman who gave it to me and give me the pin so that I can pair this whole system. Now I want you to know this was a trip because this bolt was about a ½ inch too long to fit in that spot like the black one is. So I had to go to Home Depot this morning and get a bolt, 25 cents. Probably cost me $5 in gas. Anyway, so I went and I got that bolt. And I put it all together. And I wired everything up and ran the wires. And then I started to put them in here. And found out that I needed a very small flathead screwdriver. Something that was going to fit in that hole and turn the screw. So, having gone through all of my tools, my neighbor's tools, everybody's tools, I went to Home Depot and I went back to Home Depot and got a screwdriver. Now this whole job probably took, I don't know, maybe a half an hour to wire, you know, but I've been out here for hours trying to do this thing. So, and I still can't start up anything because I'm waiting for the pair number so that I can pair this to my Bluetooth and run it. It says it's set up for 48 volts. Now the refrigerator will run 48 volts, but I'd prefer to go 12 because I have this set up in parallel and not in series. So it's really only 12 volts, you know, so I have to change that setting whenever it is I get the pairing number. Okay, talking to you later. Okay, that Victron controller never worked. I could never get the password to work. There's nobody to call at the company. Everything is done through email, or not even through their, but anyway, it never worked. So I got another one. I got this one. This one works absolutely beautifully. It comes with, excuse me, I gotta go around the log, a controller. You can see this got a smiley face, and it's got 13 volts of solar power coming in. You can see all these wires. I really need to hook them up so that they're not laying down like this and having things being able to fall on them, move them, whatever. You notice that I've got alligator clamps. Those alligator clamps go to this solar controller because this is crazy. Because this solar panel, the panel that this goes to, has a different kind of connection, like this thing. Everybody else has got these. So I just hooked it up. So I just put the alligator clamps on there. And then I ran the wires through that hole and outside. Since 6 weeks has gone by, since 6 weeks has gone by since I made the last video, I had just this panel, just that panel, I think. I was gifted these 4, which are 25 each and make 100. And then I bought that one. That one is also a 100 watts. This one is 100 watts. So this whole setup here is 300 watts. I've got cables. I've got extras here so that I could hook up 2 more, which I was going to do. Okay, this comes out here. There's my Rowley boy. That goes over to there. I leave those down there 24/7, even though they actually get less power because they're laying flat. These are the other 2 that I hook. The one on top to the Jackery, and the one on bottom I hook to the King. The one on the bottom is 100 watts, and the one on the top is 60 watts. I was going to take this 100 watt panel and add it over there, except that it has a different kind of connector than the rest of them. Okay, so since I got all of those solar panels, I got a swamp cooler. Well, I got the swamp cooler. I got the solar panels because I was running the swamp cooler and there was not enough energy to run the refrigerator and the swamp cooler. So the batteries on this and the 300 watts of solar panels is dedicated to the refrigerator, and the swamp cooler gets plugged into the King or the Jackery. My house is a mess. I don't care. Okay? And that's the way it goes. Okay, so that was running really good until it started hitting 108 every single day and went up to 109, and I was running out of power. I couldn't keep the swamp cooler going. I would try and wait until it got to be 90, 95 outside before I came inside and turned it on. And then I couldn't run it at night, so I was sleeping in puddles. I said, this has got to stop. Maybe I could plug the swamp cooler into the batteries, but I need an inverter. So I ordered an inverter. Unfortunately, it was delayed, so I ran over to O'Reilly's, which is similar to AutoZone or any one of those other car places, and I bought a 500 watt inverter. This is not a true sine wave inverter, but it works. Well, it mostly worked. What happened was it was pulling so much juice or whatever that the refrigerator in the middle of the night, if I kept the swamp cooler going and the refrigerator going, the refrigerator would cut off, cut on, cut off, cut on, and go back and forth like that really fast. I said, oh no, we can't have that. So I turned off the swamp cooler because it was relatively cool by that time. I figured I'd sleep the rest of the night. So I found that I would have to plug it in to the Jackery or the King solar charger during the day, and then I could plug it in to the battery bank at night. And that works. That works, except that during that time I had completely run down the solar chargers to 0. The one over there, the Jackery, and the one over here, ran them down to 0. So there was the problem of, how do I run the swamp cooler and the refrigerator and then charge up the Jackery and the solar chargers? So I finally ended up getting that pretty close to done. But meanwhile, the other inverter came in today. It's down here. I have not hooked it up yet. That's a true sine wave inverter, which means that I could plug in my computer and get some work done. And then, of course, I had extension cords for the solar panels that I've got to put up. So, meanwhile, I had ordered extension cords for the Jackery and the King, because if you look down here, let me get up. If you look down here, you see that I've got the wires kind of coming through the door like that. It's not really a good idea to crimp your wires like that. So what I was going to do was take those wires and put them on an extension cord and run them through here. If you'll look back here, you can see that, you can see the wires back there. So I can run it through there. Let me take this off so you can see it. So you can see the wires and the batteries and everything back there. So it's going to run it back there, and run it out through that hole, and you know, everything would be sweet and clean and organized. Well, unfortunately, they don't fit. Well, they kind of half fit. The sockets here, the adapter, this adapter. First of all, the socket is much bigger than this, and this has an adapter. Well, this adapter doesn't fit on the Jackery, and it doesn't, you know, they each have their own thing. The problem is at the end of the adapter, this here, does not fit on the extension cord. So I have to send them back. See, that end is too big. So I gotta send them back and get something smaller or different or something of the sort. So still, the system is not quite together, and I've got wires everywhere laying on the floor and whatnot, you know. So that's where it is today. The thing about the inverter is both of them are 500 watts. Realized after a while that I could get 1,000 watt, except two 500 watts are cheaper than one 1,000 watt. And then there was the matter of sending them back and getting another one, and it is supposed to hit 107 again today. Actually, every day this week. So I can't do without them. So I figured I'll just keep them both, and that's it. So ultimately, the system isn't finished. I did things backwards, but what did I know, you know? I didn't have anybody I could really ask, you know. It was just what I could figure out from various videos and articles and stuff like that. I think I should have planned my system and then purchased everything so everything matches. That would have been ideal. Fortunately, I was gifted most of this system and the appliances and batteries, so I had to make them work together. And solar isn't quite standard yet. The connections between solar. They're like floppy disks and VHF and cassettes before CDs and DVDs, and now drives, thumb drives, you know. And I've been successful with what I've got, and I'm staying cool. I mean, it's 107 degrees, and so is my food. Not bad, right? The Rowley report. I had been cooking Rowley's food, but the price of beef went through the roof. So, you know where that went. So I went back to canned pate dog food. I think he's allergic to something in it. He's not crazy about it. Well, I mean, after all, he was eating home-cooked food. You know, with sweet potatoes and, you know, broccoli and stuff like that. But since it's the only thing he's got to eat, he does, most of the time. I think sometimes he waits until he can't stand it anymore and he's hungry and he just might as well eat, hoping somewhere along the line that I give him the home-cooked food again. But he keeps licking his paws. Now, I looked that up because it was something that just recently started, and they're saying on YouTube and various articles online, pet stores and pet doctors and stuff, that it's a sign of allergies, and it also could be a sign of boredom. I don't think he's bored. Hey, Rowley, what do you think? Rowley? Are you bored? Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. See you next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Time. Okay. Take care of you and yours, and blessed be.